Across my lifespan, I would say that one of my top favorite Disney characters has been Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. And so I rewatched the Season of Giving Thanksgiving episode for Winnie the Pooh and decided to review that one. And my goodness, what? What is wrong with Rabbit, okay? Tell me what's wrong with Rabbit, okay? This episode starts off. It's Thanksgiving. Everyone's pumped. Everyone is getting ready for a Thanksgiving feast. And it's happening in the purest form it could. Everyone in the 100-Acre Wood is coming over, bringing their favorite things. And they're just gathering. And they're ready to have a good time. And before they can get started, Rabbit stops all of them. And it's just like, you are all idiots. Whatever you're doing is wrong. I know how Thanksgiving is supposed to go. He pulls out these papers of drawings and instructions and stuff on what he wants everyone to do so they can have a perfect Thanksgiving, and tells them, this is your job now. This is what you're going to do. This is how we're going to have Thanksgiving, because all your stuff sucks. And you suck too for bringing it. So, this is not what Thanksgiving is about, you stupid stuffed animals. I'm not even exaggerating. This is straight up what he does. What in the world is wrong with Rabbit? Every single time that Pooh Bear and all his buddies just want to get together, Rabbit just jumps in there and tells them they're all idiots and they're wrong. And almost every single episode goes like this in some way. So he tells them all that their ideas, all the food they brought, the ideas they had to do Thanksgiving as a group together were all wrong and stupid, and they had to scrap all of it and do exactly as he instructs. So he sends Pooh and Piglet up for the turkey. He sends Gopher and Owl to do dishes and dessert. Rabbit takes care of the decorations, and he wants Eeyore and Tigger to go find the sauce, and just shoos them away to it. And Pooh Bear's not a saint too, because they're out there. He's saying, they gotta go find the turkey. So him and Piglet are out there. What? Pooh just really enjoys scaring the freak out of Piglet. He sings a whole song about how turkeys might want to eat you, and they might jump out of the bushes to try and eat you. Like, what? That's so morbid. Anyway, they can't find a turkey because they're dumb, and no one can actually do anything about the jobs they've been given because they're dumb. And so, I think Tigger and Eeyore find cranberries, but there are holes in their bags, and they just gotta go get them again. And so, in their wandering, Pooh Bear and Piglet set up a trap for a turkey, and it ends up being Eeyore and Tigger that fall into that trap, so they think it's a turkey. And then on the other hand, you got freaking Gopher putting jalapenos and all kinds of crazy stuff into the pumpkin pie, and it's like fizzing and having a chemical reaction in there. Like, that's not gonna go well. And Rabbit's working on these massive, beautiful, elaborate decorations, and it just like, it shouldn't be. Oh, this is coming to a head, and so Pooh Bear and Piglet are like dragging the bag, and he's like, oh my gosh, you've done it, you've got the turkey. And then they throw the bag up on the table, and then Tigger eventually rips out of the bag, and through the through the chaos, they knock down all the decorations and just flip over the table, ruin all the work that Rabbit did, and the pie is ruined. Everything just falls apart immediately once everyone comes back together, because they just were unsure about how to follow the instructions that Rabbit gave in a totally ill-advised context. So Then there's just this somber moment where Rabbit's like, our Thanksgiving is ruined, and it's all your guys' fault. This holiday means nothing now. It's all your fault. He's such an awful person. He's such an awful person. And Pooh Bear's trying to be like, well, we still have each other. Rabbit's like, no, we don't. And they all go home separately. And Pooh Bear's just like, oh, bother. What? This is ridiculous. It's so amusing at the same time because this is all Rabbit's fault from the start. If he could just keep his mouth shut and stop trying to be such a control freak with every single thing, everything would have been fine. And so eventually Pooh Bear decides that he wants to give it another try. He picks up his honey pot and just has everyone gather back together and bring something from home that they think will be good for Thanksgiving. And all of them reconvene back in the same spot at the same table. And everyone just, Tigger brings ice cream, Piglet brings acorns, Eeyore brings something. Everyone brings something. And they go back for Rabbit, who is just distraught. But he sees how happy they are and that they have, overcome their sadness over what happened earlier. And he comes to the realization that the togetherness and the friendship that they all have is more important than his completely stupid, controlling personality. Which happens every single time. But, and of course, Christopher Robin shows up once everything has already been sorted out. A little punk. But then they sing a song about having a good Thanksgiving and having friends and all that stuff. And it's just, there's always someone, isn't there? There's just someone who ruins everything, like Peppermint Patty or just Rabbit. Like, just leave it alone. Just stop it. Stop ruining everyone's happiness if you can help it. Jeez. So, this is actually why I love Winnie the Pooh, because I love this group because people because no matter what each individual ends up doing, no matter what crazy situation they end up in based on the personality or based on the ambitions of one character, something always happens so that they can all sort of come back together, go through that circle regardless of the offenses. And in taking Eeyore, for example, notorious for being negative and being down all the time. They never care. They never care that he's sad, and they don't ostracize him for it. They always try to include him regardless of him being so mopey all the time. They're not trying to stop him from feeling what he feels. But they always bring him in. And same deal with Rabbit. Every time he tries to ruin everything, they go along with his plan to try it out because they know in certain ways he is smarter than them. But, when it fails, they're just like, we still have each other. And they go back for Rabbit, even after all of his stupid freaking behavior. It's like, tell me that's not a good message. So... Season of Giving, Winnie the Pooh, Thanksgiving.